Peace, family. What's good? It's your brother God Science. I'm up in here once again. Shout out and a special salute to the few that do watch the videos and subscribe. I really appreciate y'all. Always got to give the love out there first. The new subscribers, really appreciate y'all. I just wanted to do a quick video, man, on, a serious topic for once. I do videos sometimes about the YouTube streets, the beef and all these things, but I'm gonna do a little serious, I ask people to subscribe to my channel and follow me and watch my videos. And a lot of people don't know who I am, and half part of that is the fear of talking about things and putting personal, your personal, real intimate things about you out there because you have these kids out there that's basically in their 30s and 40s, but they kids that will chop videos up and make fun of people that's going through a struggle or has gone through an addiction. Until you have walked that road, that dark road of addiction, you will never have the compassion for other people out there that's going through it. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about my story. And now the reason I wanted to really do this because my son, he's 15 years old and he's an amazing kid, man. One thing I could say is that God has blessed me with somebody, a kid that's, he has his head on his shoulders. He has his issues. He's becoming a teenager. He's trying to find himself, trying to work through his insecurities and things like that. But, for some 15-year-olds out there, they're doing shit that is crazy. You got 15 years old, 15-year-old out there that's selling drugs, killing people, all kinds of shit. And I'm glad to say my son is real, real grounded and, stays away from drugs and all these things, but he's surrounded by it. In the music, music, I'm a music producer and I followed and saw hip hop from the beginning of it to where it is now. And music and drugs has always gone hand to hand. Lately, what I think has happened is that back in the late 80s, the 90s, it was more of the drug dealer type, and I'm not saying that's cool because, we're selling that to our community to make a dollar and feed our family when there are other ways. Now, the other ways are a little harder. You have to do a little bit more work. You have to be a little bit more patient, and niggas just is not patient. They want it now. They want it now. So, and back then it was more of, I'm the drug dealer. Now it's more of the fiend, it's more, the fiend is more uplifted in this type of hip hop. And the main thing I want to talk about is opioid epidemic in the black community. And he recently had two friends that passed away from overdoses. And these kids were 15, 16 and I underestimated the fact of how much it affected him, to the point that he needed somebody to talk to, a grief counseling because, and it really hurt him. And these kids out here, you listen to this hip hop right late, and they're talking about popping mollies, popping Percocets, popping Xanax, and popping these things, and they don't understand that you have to respect these things. Now you might ask, who the fuck are you to even tell me? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me, all right, and I'm gonna go deep into the things that I've been through. And I'm not saying this and doing this for any sympathy and like, oh, poor God Science, you've been. No, I'm telling you that anybody out there that's struggling with, any type of addiction, any type of physical chronic pain or anything like that, you can make it, man. It's, sometimes it gets hard, but you can make it. Now, when I was 15 years old, I started getting sick. I didn't know what it was. My mom didn't know what it was. I just knew that I wasn't able to go to school. It was so much pain in my stomach. Now, of course, like every mom, they thought I was lying. I was trying to get out of not going to school and making shit up like all kids do. And I get that, because all kids do it. but I really started getting sick, started losing a lot of fucking weight and just in a lot of pain. And it just got so bad to the point that I got so skinny, my mom started getting worried. Now, the first thing they started thinking is that I had cancer because it was blood in my stool. You know, some of this stuff might be a little gross. Apologize, but I'm gonna just be straight up and 100 with y'all. You know, I was blood in my stool at the time when I was 14, and I didn't know where it was coming from. You know, I'm like, losing weight, so they're taking me to all these kinds of doctors in crazy pain. And anybody out there that goes through physical sufferings, physical pain, yo, I feel you. You know, that's a different type of pain of being stressed, different type of pain of not having money, different type of pain, and a lot of people can't identify with that. And thank God you can't, thank God, a lot of people take it for granted that they don't they go through life with no big, sicknesses or anything like that. And they take it for granted. But when someone goes through chronic pain all their life, it's a different type of pain. Anyway, goes to the doctor, comes to find out they say you have Crohn's disease. Now, if anybody ever heard what Crohn's disease is, it's basically like a autoimmune disease where your body starts to think that it's the enemy, certain parts, whether it's your intestines, your stomach, it could even be your joints, and it starts attacking your joints, attacks your stomach, your intestinal walls. And most of the time it's mostly stomach. And they say I have that. Now, the problem was by the time I was diagnosed from it, I was in bad shape, real bad shape, to the point that one day I stayed home from school. This is when I was 15, and I was walking to the bathroom. I got weak, I couldn't make it, and I just passed out on the floor. Then all I can remember is flashes of the paramedics coming, and I see them. They're trying to get me an IV. I always had small ass veins, but they're constantly trying to get me an IV. And I hear one of the paramedics. He's hemorrhaging. He's hemorrhaging. So inside, I was bleeding inside, which is something very serious. So they rushed me to the hospital. I'm scared a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I'm in fucking trauma department. They're trying to get an IV in me. That was the biggest thing. And then this nurse finally got the IV in me, and they start, good job, good job. And then, so, I'm in there, my mom is crying. She's praying. They're telling her that she's hemorrhaging. We have to do a surgery right now. So I had to do an emergency surgery. Now, from my end, I'm just, in and out of consciousness. And then I just know I went to surgery and that was it. Now, anybody have been to surgery, when they give you that shit, you're out. Then I wake up. Then I wake up. I got tubes in my nose. I have things attached all to me. And so I just got scared. I actually didn't know how the fuck I got there. I see my mom and a nurse. She's like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. So my mom is standing there and she's telling me, she's trying to tell me what happened, but I can tell that it's hard for her to speak. So she's basically like, they had to do a surgery. What happened was, I got so sick so bad, part of my intestine, the large intestines, was so inflamed and so fucked up. The doctor couldn't leave it in. He had to take it out. Now, at the age of 15, that caused me to have an ostomy. Now, I don't know if people know what a colostomy is. A ostomy is basically, you hear about it a lot when people get shot, gang members get shot up, and they have to heal, and they have an ostomy, which is basically where they take your intestines, stick it out your stomach, and they, in a like a wrong way, and they put a bag, and that's how you go to the bathroom. Now, my mom, I'm 15 years old now, all right? I'm just getting into girls and shit. Yes, I was a late bloomer. I wasn't fucking at 13 or 14. I was a late bloomer, and she's stuttering, trying to tell me, she's trying to tell me what the hell, you know what I mean? and she just basically comes out of it. I feel, I know I kept feeling something down there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So she tells me that it was so bad that they had to give me an ostomy, and I have to stay with it for like a couple of years until I heal up inside. Now, if you can imagine what that does to a 15-year-old, it drove me into a deep depression. Not only that, they told me that it wasn't really a cure for what I had, Crohn's disease. Nowadays, they got better medication. If you know anybody know anybody out there that has it, they have better medication. They don't really have a cure for it, but they have ways of controlling it. And back then, when I had it in the 90s, they had some all right stuff, but it had a lot of bad effects. So it started there. Being sliced open, that was the first surgery. I was on morphine. I had to take that, and that drove me into a deep depression. It isolated me. I didn't want to be around anybody. I felt like, people wasn't going to accept me, even though you couldn't see it or anything like that. I just felt like I couldn't be intimate or be close to a girl or anything. So that really fucked with me at that time. And I started to rebel. I started, God, why? Why the fuck I went through this? And it was a constant pain thing. It wasn't the stomach cramps and then later the joint pain. So I started out taking Darvocet. Darvocet is basically an opioid that I think is off the market now, but it was basically an opioid, and I had to take that constantly because of physical pain. So as time went on, finally, I got to get my ostomy removed, which was like, 2 years later, which was like the greatest thing for me because even though it probably saved my life, I just, I was like, man, nobody wants to live with that shit. Nobody want to live with that shit, so they reversed it. But having chronic pain and not being able to, cure it, I always had issues with real severe pain. So I got older, then I graduated from Darvocet to hydrocodone. I had to take hydrocodone. I never had a problem getting this medication because I needed it. I needed it. Sometimes the pain got unbearable, and I had to take it. And then as I got older and older, there were times like couple years or so where I will go through, it won't be bad or anything. I had to learn how to start eating better and things like that. I still struggle with that, but not like how I used to. I used to eat real bad, and that probably didn't help it. But when pain came and things like that, then from there I got to oxycodone, which was Percocets. Now, these medications to me, there's two sides to it to me. It helped me through life because I couldn't do a lot of things without taking it, and it would take the pain away like that. The problem is that after, let's say that you start doing better for a couple months and you've been on this medication for like 2 years and you don't really need it, then you start having these things called withdrawals. Now, this is something that I would never, ever, ever even wish on my worst enemy. Anybody out there that know someone that is not as bad as people that's on heroin, but basically these medicines like Percocet and hydrocodone is basically like synthetic heroin, or you know what I mean. And it does come with this euphoria when you take it. The problem is like after a while, if you're on this, I mean, I was taking pain medication since I was 15 years old. All right. Now I'm in my 20s and I'm taking hydrocodone. And then the problem was it reoccurred. Then the Crohn's will come back and I will get real bad and then I have to do another surgery. I don't want to be here all day because I'll be here all day telling y'all this whole story. The fact is, let's just say I've been through 7 major surgeries. All right. 7 major surgeries on my stomach, 7 major surgeries. And each time, when I stopped taking it and didn't want to take it anymore, and I wasn't feeling withdrawals or anything because it was time enough away from it. Something would happen, I would get sick again, and then I have to go in surgery again. And if anybody's been cut open, woman, if you ever had C-sections or anything like that, you understand the pain that shit is. All right. A lot of you will say, well, you should have been taking herbs from Dr. Sebi. Okay, all right, I get you on that. But when these motherfuckers cut you open to a certain extent, ain't no damn herbs ain't gonna do. You need some damn Dilaudid, morphine. Back then they had something called Demerol. I don't know if y'all know what the hell that is, but Demerol. All right, Demerol is like, I think it's off the market too. But I was taking all these things. So since I was 15 years old. So when people, now it's all this, everybody's talking about pain. I was doing this shit back in the fucking 90s. All right, when it wasn't cool. When it was all about weed, it was all about ecstasy and shit like that, 40s and all that. I was doing, and it wasn't to get high. It was because I needed it. And this is the story for a lot of people. They might have got into an accident, they hurt their back, they hurt their leg, and they start taking this medication, and then they eventually hooked on it. And in the black community, you have these big artists saying these things, but they're not saying both sides of it. They're popping this Percocet, they're popping this. You see, they're rich, they can get this shit, they can get it. But what happens to the people that's poor, that starts getting hooked on opioids? You can't just go to a store and buy opioids. Maybe y'all do know stores that sell it, but on the streets, this shit goes for a lot of money. So what you start doing is start robbing. All right, this is how bad it got. So I'm gonna fast forward now. Now I'm in like my late 20s. I have 2, 3 years that will go when everything will be cool, and then I have to do another surgery. So in total, in my whole life, I've taken 7 surgeries. All right, and I've been on pain medication since I was 15. Now let's now after I took I just graduated. The last medication I have took opioid was probably in 2011 or 12, and that was fentanyl patches. Now I don't know if people know what fentanyl is. It's nothing to be fucked with. It's one of the most powerful drugs on this planet. But it was a good drug for people that have terminal illness, that's going through a lot of pain. It's like a patch that I used to wear. You put the patch on you, and it will go into your system, transdermal. It will go through your system, and it's timed and everything. And trust me, if I didn't have that, I wasn't able to pay. At the time, I had my daughter, my son. They were real young. I wasn't able to even get up and play with them, go here, go there with them. It was just a fucking mess, man. It was just a mess. Now, thank God, the Most High, whatever you want to call it, around that time, that was the last, and it's gonna be the last, surgery I ever had. So I didn't need that anymore. So it's been, I have been taking, let me see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, probably 9 years. 9 years since I have to deal with opioids or even have to take opioids. Thank God. I do have a little pain from here and there, but it's nothing like how it used to be. And I give God thanks for that. But for me changing my diet and things like that, and just believing that, not claiming that shit. And your mind has a lot to do with getting well from sicknesses and shit like that. So I don't have to deal with. Now we start seeing this epidemic, and a lot of people are just caught in the middle of it. And there's a other side to this whole thing. Here in Florida, it was crazy. You had people coming from different states down here getting 2, 3, 4 different doctors just to get medication and take it back up to where they at and sell. So they cracked down on it. And so now you have people that are legitimately sick, that have what is cancer, some type of terminal illness, and now it's hard for them to get opioids because you go into a pharmacist and they treat you like shit. They treat you like you're a fucking addict when in reality you fucking need it. So now you got these motherfuckers, these rappers and everybody else that's talking about lean and pills and all this, but they're not telling these kids that you're going down a dark fucking road because y'all are not making, a lot of these people are not making millions like that, where they can have it just like that. And it's going to eventually kill you. It's going to eventually kill you. So what you start doing is start robbing. You start selling all your shit, you know? You start running people away that love you because they don't understand. You start hurting them. My wife, I took my wife through so much to the point that she was gonna leave me, and I was so fucked up. I was like, yo, I couldn't blame her. I told her, because I saw myself going down this dark, but at the same time, it was kind of a different situation with me. I wasn't just taking it to get high. I took it because sometimes I really needed it. The problem was is right when you didn't need it, you still had to take it to be normal, else you couldn't do shit. So it's a very big problem, especially in the black community. I mean, the black community has been through crack. We see what crack has done, did in the fucking 80s. If you didn't bring around, trust me, you got family members that's bring around in the 80s and shit. If y'all young, ask them what crack did, and it now it's this opioid thing. And the problem I have with these. I'm not gonna front and act like in the 90s we wasn't talking about drugs and you had, groups like 3 6 talking about coke and all this shit like that. But now in this music, and I hear my son listening to this music and they're talking about popping perks and it pisses me off because I've been through that dark road. I've been through the dark road. Yes, I made it out. Yes, I had the victory. I made it out. But a lot of people haven't made it out. I mean, shit, you just heard about Mac Miller, Prince, Michael Jackson. Do you want me to go on and on? I could sit here going on and on and on. People that's not even with high status like that dying every day over opioid, and his friends. I can't, they were influenced by this fucking music. They were influenced by everybody else popping pills, and they don't know what they're doing. This is not weed. See, you can smoke a lot of blunts. Your ass is just gonna pass out, or you're gonna go in your kitchen and eat everything out of that. But when it comes to opioids, respect this shit. Respect it, y'all. Respect it. It will slow your fucking breathing down and you will be out of here before you even know it. There's times that now, like I said, I was taking this shit since I was 15 to when I wasn't going into my middle 30s, man, to my early 30s. So my tolerance was sky high. I was taking 80 milligram oxycontins that I was getting from my doctor because I had that high tolerance. You cannot put on a fentanyl patch if you don't have a high tolerance and you've been taking opioids for more than 5 years. You cannot wear that shit. You will die. Period. You have to have a serious tolerance to be able to even fuck with fentanyl. And that's why a lot of people are dying fucking with heroin and shit. I never fucked with heroin or anything like that. I didn't shoot up the pain pills. I didn't inject it like some of this shit that people do, snorting and all this shit. I took it. But from me being on it so long, from having a chronic illness, I see the dark road that this shit can take you to. And you will lose fucking everything. You will lose your family. You will lose every fucking thing. And everything comes about the opioid. Where you going to get the next one? I mean, you can have 100 pills in your hands and you still won't be happy because your mind will be in the future. Okay, when this runs out, when I'm gonna get the next one, and where I'm gonna get the next one, and where I'm gonna next one. So basically what I'm saying is, I'm telling you a little bit about myself and what I've been through is that there's a lot of people in our black community that don't want to talk about this because people want to put this, facade out there, and this, people on YouTube everywhere that, hey, I'm perfect. Nothing could touch me. I'm strong. And we have that perception, especially as a black man, that you have to be 100% strong. Your ass better not cry. You better not feel weak. You better don't feel confused. You just got to have everything fucking together. And it's pure bullshit. It's pure bullshit. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are hooked on this shit and they don't know who to talk to. They feel ashamed about it. The reason why I'm making this video is to let y'all know. I mean, I gave y'all just a little taste of what I have been through, and I'm still here. It was a long fucking road. I still have, you know, a lot of trauma from it. Sometimes I have nightmares and I wake up, I'm in the hospital and I'm going through surgery. That's how much surgeries I've been through. Or I'm in the hospital, or I'm in a pharmacy and they're about to give me some pain pills, and I'm like, no, I don't want to take it. That's to tell you the shit that I've been through with it. And to see these kids out here popping these pills is scary because somebody, they're not telling them the truth. And it can, if, let me tell you this, if you start taking this medication for a while, when you can't get it, you're going to feel what they're called withdrawals. And I'm going to say this right now. I'd rather die, all right, than fucking feel that shit. It is the worst feeling in life to me. That's just my personal, opinion. I can imagine how it feels. I remember when I was in jail, back in the days when I was doing the knucklehead shit, and I went in jail and I saw this dude and he was withdrawing from heroin. And that shit always kept me away from that drug. I was like, yo, I mean, the dude felt he wanted to crawl out his body and die, basically. And fucking with these pills, it's real close to that. It's real close to that, So I can sit here and tell y'all, man, honestly, this shit ain't something that you want to fuck with. Stick to your weed if you're gonna smoke weed. Sip your beer and shit once in a while. Do not get fuck with these drugs because the thing is, you might like it, and if you do like it, you're in some trouble. The amount of money that you're going to spend, all right, if you don't have a legit illness where you need it. And like I said, it's a double-edged sword because on one side you have people that really need this medication. The problem is now is that because everybody is doing it and abusing it and it's a fucking style now the people that really need it, that's going through real physical suffering, they can't get it because they feel like, oh, they just wanted to get high like everybody else. And I don't know if a lot of people could relate to that, but I damn sure could relate to it because I've been through it. You got, pharmacists now that's like DNA, like, I thank God that I don't have to take these medications anymore because for the past 9, 10 years, I've been healthy. And, every morning I thank God for that. A lot of people don't do that because they take it for granted. But when you get your help snatched from you, and you face death couple times, you start, appreciating every little fucking thing. Every little thing you appreciate. Every morning in my prayers, Lord, thank you for being pain free. That might sound crazy to y'all, but with the amount of pain that I've been through, it's, uh, you know, uh, it's always, yes, I still go through, I'm gonna, all kinds of different things. It's life. You still have up and downs, but there's a different type of pain when you're going through a physical suffering, man. And I hope, and if you can relate to this, I hope you never could. I never hope that you never have to relate to this fucking video. But it's definitely something in the black community that we have to deal with because people trying to numb themselves. They have all this fucking stress on them, bills, Then you have, this, you're raising your children. You got all this shit out there that you're trying to shield them from. And then it gets overwhelming and people want to pop a pill and just fucking relax. I get it, man. I get it. Just be careful because if you keep doing it, your tolerance is going to get higher and higher. You're going to take more, you're going to take more, you're going to take more, you're going to take more. And then it's not going to be enough to the point that you're not going to even get high from it. And this is a story with a lot of alcoholics. They don't even enjoy alcohol anymore. They drink it just to function. And that's sad, man. And it's like I said, it's a dark fucking road. So to anybody out there that's dealing with addiction, that's dealing with opioid addiction or anything like that, you can get through it. I got through it. I'm not ashamed to say it. Like I said, my story's a little different, but a lot of people started taking these pills from legit reasons, from injuries and things like that. And people out there with chronic pain. You have people that have sickle cell. You have people that have lupus. My was Crohn's disease. So it's a lot of people out there that really goes through shit and really need this medication. But at the same time, you have to be careful. And the people that's just doing that shit to get high because you heard Future talking about Oxycontin, Oxycontin. I mean, I couldn't believe I heard a song like that. And I'm like, yo, maybe it's just cool and all fun with other people, but when you walk down that dark road, man, and it's one of the biggest battles that I had to fight in my life. And, I fought it and I won. You know what I mean? I won. And the sad thing is a lot of people didn't win. And sometimes I ask God, why did I win? And they didn't win. So it makes me to feel that I have some type of purpose. And I just felt today that, you know, wanting people to subscribe to my channel and to follow me, I have to let them know who I am, what I've been through. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm this perfect fucking messiah, master teacher that nothing bothers me and nothing. No, I'm gonna relate to people out there because there's people going through shit. You know what I mean? So y'all could, make fun of it, whatever. I really don't give a shit. Like I said, I won, I won. I was able, I'm able to get back. And this is one of the reasons why I wasn't able to do music when I was a little younger and pursue that because I was always in the hospital or some shit like that. I'm not even supposed to be here, all right? They told my mom that I was gonna die. Uh, when I went in that surgery when I was 15. I had a 50-50 chance of making it out. All right. And to the point that they told me I might have to live with a tube in my mouth. Look, and if you see me, it's nothing like that. Those doctors don't really know anything. It's what you accept in your mind. If you don't accept that and you use your mind, you do a little bit of healthy things and stuff like that, your mind will heal you, man. Your mind will heal you. I'm a perfect example of it. And I think I'm just telling my story and maybe a lot of people can't even relate to this video, but if I can only get one person that relates to it and is in this dark place, you can get out, man. Definitely. Anyway, I don't want to make it too long. Thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to talk about that topic because I don't see a lot of people talking about it. It's something that people don't want to talk about because a lot of people are doing it. And I get it. You pop your pill here and there, do your thing. Just understand that respect these fucking drugs. They're not to be mixed with alcohol and all this dumb shit. And that's one of the, when I was taking, like I said, my situation is different. I wasn't just taking it for party drugs and to get high. But one thing I did was when I was taking this medication for my, for pain and shit, I would never drink alcohol or anything like that or mix cocktail drugs and shit. Like this is the shit that kids are doing now. Taking Xanaxes, taking Percocets. Their heart don't know where to slow down or beat up, slow down or beat up. And it's like, then you wondering why all these people are dying. It's not. If you take it as prescribed, you'll be good. But motherfuckers ain't doing that. They're drinking cough syrup. This shit is for coughs. It's crazy. But just respect these things. It's not weed, it's not alcohol. Respect those things too. But when it comes to opioids, I'm telling you, if it will slow your fucking breathing and you will be out of here. These rappers are not telling you everything about it. Look it up before you even fucking take it. Everybody's body is different. Somebody can take a lot and nothing will happen to them. Somebody take one and they gone. So please, if you're not having physical suffering, if you don't have physical pain, if your doctor haven't prescribed it for you, stay the fuck away from opioids, please. Else you're gonna be on methadone all your life. I remember for a couple years I had to take something called Suboxone to get off of it. Thank God I don't have to take shit. But like I said, man, a lot of people wasn't able to win that battle, and walk out of there. They're in their graves now. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you can, if you know someone in your family that's going through it, let them know that they can get through it. I've been through a lot, man. And I'm saying, and like I said, I'm not just making this video for sympathy and all of this bullshit. I'm doing it to, I think I have a responsibility to tell that story because I walked through a dark place. And anybody out there that's dealing with physical suffering, they understand you can't it's not a lot of people you could talk to about it because they don't understand, they don't have to go through anything like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you like, hit the like button, and peace, y'all. See y'all in the next one.